Hey guys, what's going on? In this podcast, I want to talk to you about the fundamental flaws of MSTR, what it represents, and despite of all that, I highly respect the CEO, Saylor. So with that said, however, I think the fundamental flaws should be obvious to anyone that finishes listening this message till the end. In no secret, I am speaking my mind as a trader about this. My goal is to make money from short-term movements in the market utilizing weekly options, including options on Bitcoin futures, Ethereum futures, gold futures, oil futures, you name it. We trade it all here at Third Market Moves. But there are moments in time when, based off the chart, everything makes sense. But you could be just missing this one little piece of ingredient to make your trade 100% click, 100% perfect, 100% payable, okay? And everything that I have voiced so far about MSTR has resolved in a 100% reality. There is a moment last Thursday where MSTR drops from $548 to a low of $371. We caught that move. If you were trading with me as your coach, you know you got that move. We took a position the day before at 460, 480 level. We also took a position the morning it gapped up and dropped. Now, all of that, you guys can go back and review some of the videos talking about the big short on MSTR. But in this audio, I want to shed some more light as far as to what was happening and what you could learn from this as a trader to put together some colossal, 50x, 100x trades. And in this case, I'm actually not even talking about MSTR directly, but it's all intertwined. So, step one, MSTR is utilizing public funding. Like, basically it goes and issues a bunch of shares, and if you listen to Saylor, he calls it, well, I utilize my currency to buy digital capital. So he's got all these fancy fucking names for things, and if you listen to him, I mean, the guy sounds like, oh my god, well, he knows so fucking much. Well, it doesn't matter how you call things what they are, okay? The fundamental math, the 2 + 2, when it does not equate 4, is a fucking problem. So just bear with me. I'm gonna take you step by step for everything. So there was a moment in 2000, 2001 when basically every company that had a .com, right, it would go public. They didn't have revenue. Maybe they had a website. Maybe they didn't have any fucking employees. Maybe it's whatever. It was really easy to go public for the purpose of raising capital. So he's using the old playbook to raise capital. So in other words, the core business of MSTR doesn't do shit, okay? But using his knowledge about raising capital, he's doing two things. He's issuing more MSTR shares to do what? To buy more Bitcoin. And number two, he's using bond offerings to raise capital in order to do what? In order to buy more Bitcoin. So if you study the recent chart of Bitcoin, it will clearly coincide with some of the biggest breakouts in Bitcoin when it goes from recent 60,000 all the way to sub 100,000. You guys heard me post multiple videos. I said, look, Bitcoin's got a greater shot going back to 30,000 than before it hits 100,000. Bitcoin never hits 100,000, okay? And here lies the reason why. So, despite of diluting the shit out of MSTR shares, okay, collecting money on that, buying the hell out of Bitcoin, despite of just closing 2 multi-billion-dollar bond offerings and using that capital to buy Bitcoin, despite of all that money going into Bitcoin directly from the CEO of MSTR, Bitcoin still cannot break 100,000. 99,000. So if you were trading with me in the last few days, I said, look, any bear top, the basic description of any bear top is a dry up in volume at the top. So we would be calling the top in Bitcoin at a level between 97 and 99,000. That was the top at which I pointed out to our traders. I said, look, guys, there is no fucking buy volume here. I said it looks like it's only bots or some one fucking guy that just keeps buying it because nobody else is fucking buying it. So today we find out who it was. All this fucking time, the only guy that's been buying the fuck out of Bitcoin sub 100 level was Sailor from MSTR. MicroStrategy, for those of you that are new, the CEO of MSTR was doing all this fucking buying at the top. And if you listen to my prior videos, this should not be as new information to you. In prior videos, I have recorded and pointed out that Sailor always buys Bitcoin at the top. So if you understand all his fancy terms and terminology, and he's got to be one of the greatest fucking sales guys of all fucking times. The reason is, he's got a lot at stake. He's basically forgot what his company was really doing, and he just said, fuck it, we're just going to buy Bitcoin, and I got to get more people on board to be buying Bitcoin. So I actually went and reviewed a couple of his last podcasts, and they're basically tied to, it's like a low-key, but it is a sales speech to get other businesses to do what MSTR is doing. And what MSTR is doing, guys, they're basically borrowing fucking money to buy Bitcoin, and they're telling you that their Bitcoin is worth multiple times more. And you can fucking package it up with a variety of fancy terminology and words. But the point of the matter is simple. Why would any fucking body pay 4, 5, 6 times more for the Bitcoin owned by MSTR, okay, than for the actual Bitcoin? When you buy MSTR, you don't own Bitcoin. You own shares of a company that keeps issuing debt to buy more fucking Bitcoin. And yeah, you go and put a few $1 billion in Bitcoin, sure, the thing is gonna fucking go higher. But if you're the only guy buying it, by definition, you would need more people to come on board and utilize the same fucking strategy, okay, to make sure that Bitcoin keeps going up. And we just reached that level. I said, guys, Bitcoin is going to drop $8,000 to $11,000. I was posting that message in the group saying, guys, it's about to fucking happen. I honestly was waiting for it to happen Thursday, Friday. Well, we're finally getting a nice break on Bitcoin today. And now we know exactly why. The public information is officially out on what? That MSTR, as of Friday last week, so we're just talking, I'm recording this on Monday, and so Friday, MSTR officially utilized all their borrowed funds to buy Bitcoin. So you put the 2 and 2 together, Bitcoin drops. At the moment it's down at the moment I'm recording, it's down like 4,300 points, but it wouldn't be a shocker if at some point it goes down 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 points today on a Monday. And the biggest thing here, if you're a trader, it makes trading quite simple. So the information is public that MSTR has spent all the fucking money to buy Bitcoin. And the next day after it's done spending money on buying Bitcoin, what happens? Bitcoin drops. So what does this fucking tell you? He was the only fucking buyer. And the public information is there. You can go and Google it. Hey, what was the most recent purchases of Bitcoin by MSTR? Go Google this shit right now. you're going to see that the average price he paid was somewhere around like $97,500, which, damn, bro, he sniped the fucking top. The dude really sniped the fucking top. So the average holdings of MSTR, maybe average cost were about $35,000. But, now with all the recent purchases, I mean, damn, bro, you're talking about putting, $6-7 billion to work? Fucking buying close to the top? Now, I'm not sure exactly what the average price of Bitcoin is. But if you dig a little deeper and if you listen to a few podcasts of CEO of MicroStrategy, Saylor, you will get the idea, right, that all the fancy terminology and all this, we're the powerhouse, we're the treasury of Bitcoin, we're powered by a motherfucking Bitcoin rocket and shit. All that shit, guys, it's nothing but fucking words, okay? Because, look, why would you want to own a stock where the guy cannot even figure out a fucking buying strategy? I understand some people would argue, well, Saylor, man, he really knows how to buy Bitcoin. I mean, this guy snipes every bottom. I mean, like, remember who was telling you to not short Bitcoin at 16 and to fucking buy the fuck out of it at 16,000 was crashing a few years ago? Searching market moves. Well, the whole world wanted to short it down. We told you to buy the fuck out of Bitcoin at 16,000. Okay, but was Saylor buying Bitcoin at 16,000? No, he fucking wasn't, because he couldn't even fucking borrow money when Bitcoin was at 16,000. The issue is people get excited and want to get into these convertible bonds and they want to do the stupid fucking diluted stock offerings that actually mathematically hurts the share value. But, hey, hello. I mean, this is 2024, right? You can do everything to hurt the value of the stock, and the stocks, they still go higher. I mean, that's the fucking age we live in, right? The company does not need to produce any product. The company does not need to fucking make anything. In other words, the company can have zero productivity, but it can just go borrow a shitload of money, put it in Bitcoin, and everything's supposed to be fine. Well, everything is not going to be motherfucking fine because of one simple fact. The assumption that those bonds are going to pay out at some point in the future, or the shareholders are going to, or the shares are going to continue climbing, all these assumptions are based solely on one fact, and that is that Bitcoin price keeps going higher. The fucking idiots that bought the convertible bonds from MicroStrategy, the convertible share price on those is around $670, $680, which means, okay, some idiots, literally $3 billion worth of idiots, after talking to Saylor, hearing his sales pitches, they basically said, whoa, man, that sounds really good. So the share price is at 400 right now. But what you're saying, we have to wait to make any money till shares hit 680. And he tells them, yeah, guys, it's a really good fucking deal. You should fucking do it. And these fucking idiots are like, oh, yeah, let's do it. We like it. Oh, yeah. So I can buy shares right now for 400, but you're telling me basically I'm buying them for 680. And, so basically I'm overpaying like fucking 40%, and I gotta wait 5 years to collect on this. And actually, believe it or not, we live in such a stupid world that some people go for it, considering the fact that the last bond offering don't even pay a coupon, meaning like it don't pay any income that a bond would normally generate for a bondholder. It pays zero coupon. So on one end, you could say, well, this is a deal for the bondholders, because, hey, you're just going to use the money to buy Bitcoin. What the fuck do you need? Do you need somebody to do that for you for? Just go buy the fucking Bitcoin. That's it. But the whole point is this. I mean, this shit is just so out of control. I mean, when people used to make fun of, .com bubble, companies not making any money. I think now, in 2024, it is equivalent of, companies, they don't want the capital that companies generate, okay, from share offerings. Some companies actually make money, like MicroStrategy doesn't make any money, so really holding the stock in a way is a disadvantage. The company keeps fucking losing money every quarter from its core business. So I'm not sure what exactly would be the fucking advantage. Hold on. I'm paying you 40% more than Bitcoin is worth now. And really the stock value is, like 4 times more than what the actual value of the Bitcoin right now. And you're also the only guy that happens to be buying it at the fucking top, making shit appear like, man, this is a highly profitable endeavor. While in reality, the moment you stop buying, the shit begins collapsing immediately the next day. I mean, how good of a fucking proposition is it? But if anybody that can do 2 plus 2, I mean, even if you need to pull out a calculator to do 2 plus 2, okay, you should fucking understand that this is not a good deal for investors. But I would compare 2024 it's a moment where, companies like MicroStrategy get away with this kind of shit. Hey, we have to do nothing. We just borrow the fuck out of the money, okay, when we buy Bitcoin, and assuming Bitcoin keeps going higher, hey, everything is great. With the exception that in 70% of time intervals, Bitcoin does not go higher, okay? In 70% of interval, there's only like 20-30% of the time when Bitcoin goes high. The rest of the time, it goes sideways or lower, okay? But it does have those moments, and clearly there's some seasonality to it, like the months of October, November, December. They're seasonally, historically speaking, they are good, okay? And everyone expects, but what I'm saying is, MSTR just officially ran out of money to buy Bitcoin, okay? The hype is done. Guys, the hype is fucking over, okay? There's only one disadvantage with shorting MSTR, and that's why I think maybe Bitcoin can be such much easier short. Since there's no propping, there's no buying, MSTR ran out of billions trying to buy it. Bitcoin still didn't cross the 100,000. Now there's no major buyer in play, or possibly the only buyer that was buying between 90 and fucking 99,000. Now that buyer is gone, okay, the only thing that's left is the hype. The buying is gone. The hype is left. But what we know about the hype does not last very long. So the buying is officially gone. The hype will be gone if people will keep watching, let's say 3-4 days, 7 days lower in Bitcoin. The hype will be gone. I'm not saying Bitcoin is just going to go straight down. I'm saying, yeah, there's still the hype and the hope, right, that it's going to continue going higher. It's still there. But people, once certain levels are going to be broken, like once it drops below 92,000, once it drops below 90,000, once, I'm sure it gets to 87.5, it's going to bounce, and then before you know, it's going to fucking go lower again. So I'm saying as these levels are taken out on the way lower, and there's really no significant buyers, more people are going to understand, well, hold on. I just bought the dip at 95,000. And 2 days later, the shit is at 85,000. These people are not going to hold. I mean, they could be still brainwashed by the same guy, the CEO of MSTR. That's who fucking sells the dips, man. You don't want to do that, man. I mean, just wait till it dips to 30,000, and then add, and then wait till it breaks above 100,000, because it surely is coming. We were just there. Don't worry. We're going to break above that 100,000. Man, Bitcoin may not see that level of 99,000 for like a year or two, maybe 3 fucking years. And that's what people don't realize, because not only the stock market is overhyped, but when companies are directly pitching you, the CEOs of companies directly going on every possible podcast they can get onto, and they are publicly pitching other business owners on why what they're doing is such a great fucking thing, and why should, see, he's no longer pitching the general public, because he knows, like, hey, it ain't going to make a fucking bit of difference if somebody's going to hear his podcast, some individual, and he's going to go buy fucking $10,000 worth of Bitcoin tomorrow. That's going to do nothing. So at this point, Saylor is pitching directly the businesses. And like specifically, if you listen to some of the recent stuff, he's directly pitching to companies that can raise capital, that are maybe $500 million company, $1 billion company, a few $1 billion company that can go raise capital and can go and put it in Bitcoin. Because at this point, to move Bitcoin higher, you need some big time players. Okay, at this point, individual investors, okay, are not going to be able to produce these big moves in Bitcoin. The biggest move in Bitcoin has just fucking happened. Okay, and I'm not saying Bitcoin will never go to 150,000. I'm sure it will. I'm just saying it's not going to happen now, because the biggest buyer is gone, and now what you got left is hype, and this hype is slowly going to be dying out, and people are going to be disappointed, and some people are going to be disappointed to the point they're going to be dumping some of their positions. And so at this point, what we've witnessed in the last 2 weeks is buying on volume that basically is non-existent. So after Trump win, clearly we've seen some buying, we've seen some strong volume, but in the last 10 trading sessions, the volume is gone. There is no buy volume. But now what we're going to see is an increase in sell volume in relation to the buy volume, which is actually not very difficult to do, because there was only one fucking guy buying. So now you got a few sellers. I mean, of course this shit is going to drop. So the point is, I mean, if you were to learn anything from this lengthy message and breakdown, is when you're trading Bitcoin, watch what MSTR is doing. And when they are diluting shares, be ready for Bitcoin price to pump. When they are selling bonds, be ready for the price to pump. Okay, so you trade that on the call side. And when they're done buying, like now, okay, shit's gonna fucking collapse. Because they basically created this whole wave of buying, and they created this whole wave of hype, and people bought into it. And so a lot of people got reeled into this last move between 90,000 and 99,000. And a lot of people are going to realize, well, shit, I just bought the top. But if you study the history of MSTR purchases of Bitcoin, they always buy at the top, because that is the moment at which they close the offering, at which they dilute the shares, and that's where they normally get the money. Because, hey, good luck getting fucking people to do a bond offering, or to agree that, hey, well, I can only cash out when the stock hits $680. Like, good luck doing it when the stock is at $25, right? But yet, when we recommended you to buy the stock when it was at $15 to $25, adjusted for stock split, okay, nobody was fucking listening, guys. The videos are out there. You can go 2 years ago and fucking review those videos. We told you to buy the shit out of MSTR when it was at 150, 250, 350. We told you it was going to go to 500, 600 and above. Now, adjusted for stock split now, I mean, all those levels were $15, $25, $60, $50, $35. In all these areas, we've been telling to buy the hell out of MSTR. And yet, it's just now that is getting the most attention. See, I mean, we call some real gems here at Third Share Market Moves way before Wall Street begins talking about them. So, I mean, hopefully that makes sense. You want some original ideas, not when shit is already overhyped. I mean, you come to Third Share Market Moves. And we catch a lot of trades, good trades on call side, but really our specialty is to short the fuck out of the market. And now the conditions are so beautiful and ripe, it would be absolutely obnoxious if you consider yourself a trader to not take advantage of such premium opportunities in the markets that arrive maybe once every 20 years. So if you want to make 50x, 100x trades, I mean, you're not going to do it by buying Bitcoin. You're not going to do it even by buying Bitcoin calls, but you could be doing it by buying Bitcoin puts or Ethereum puts or some other puts. Clearly, you got to get your entries and exits perfectly, which we don't get them perfectly here every time, but there are moments when we're 100% spot on, and that's when you can catch that 50 to 100x trade. So anyway, guys, if you're interested in advancing your skills, come to etheriummarketmoves.com, sign up to trade with a coach. etheriummtv.com, sign up to trade with a coach. It is questionable going into tomorrow, Tuesday, which is going to be a better short, Bitcoin or MSTR. I think they both drop, considering that for every percentage point rise in Bitcoin recently, MSTR stock price went up 10%. So let's say if we hold up the proportion to where it's been to the upside and we maintain that ratio to the downside, well, I mean, if Bitcoin drops 5-10%, I mean, MSTR is going to collapse the fuck out back to like 200 level area, 200 range, 200 something. It's still trading today above 400. So anyway, guys, if you have any questions, go to etheriummtv.com, schedule a call, talk to a coach here, etheriummarketmoves.com. Don't waste any time. These market opportunities are so rare. I mean, how would you like to be the one that shorted the fucking market at the highest level at a technology bubble in, back in 2000, 2001? How would you like to be the guy that caught the transition and the bear market reversal between 2007 and 2008? I'm saying there is this moment now. I mean, I don't hate for any trader who's spent any amount of time trading, whether you've been trading for 3 months or 30 years, to miss those type of market conditions. Market conditions is the most valuable thing, and probably the most overlooked thing by traders that trade short-term options. The most overlooked thing is the market conditions. So don't waste them, guys. This is the time you take your accounts from 10, 50K to million, 2 million, 5 million plus. You can do it. We have a history of helping guys do it here at Etherium Market Moves. And so I would like for you to be the next guy to fucking do it. Again, market conditions are very rare right now. Don't waste them. Grab your balls and let's roll. Give us a call.